Hello students, welcome to my 17th video. We all remember we had started this poem, The Brook, and we had done half of it. So let us continue with the next part of the poem. Since it is a long poem, for that reason, in one video I had given the explanation of half of it. So let us continue with the next part with a short recap. As we remember that the poem is based on the journey of a brook, how it faces obstacles and what kind of mood it starts with, and how it continues in its journey to reach the bigger river. So that is to reach and join the bigger river. So that is what we had done. Now let us continue with the next part. This stanza, from here we will continue today. I wind about and in and out, with here a blossom sailing, and here and there a lusty trout, and here and there a grayling, and here and there a foaming flake, upon me as I travel, with many a silvery water break above the golden gravel. So what we see that in these two stanzas, the brook is talking about the things that it carries along with it when it is moving, when it is flowing, what all other things it carries along with itself. Blossom, that means a flower is sailing along with it. Then there are fishes. Trout and graylings are different kinds of fishes which move along with the moving water of the brook. And here and there a foamy flake. Foamy flake means that the bubbles that are formed on the surface of the river. Flake are the small pieces. So foamy flake, they are the bubbles that also are there on the surface, which are also moving along upon as I travel, and with many a silvery water break above the golden gravel. Silvery break here means the waves, the small waves that are created while the brook is moving, the small waves, and they are silvery because we know that the waves, they are water is of course, sometimes it looks blue, sometimes it looks green, sometimes it looks white and silvery. So that is the shade, silvery, the color of the waves that are created when it is moving above the golden gravel. Golden gravel here means the surface of the brook, the bed of the brook, the river bed, which is golden gravel. Golden could be the sand, or could be the other pebbles and other stony things that are there in the river bed. So all those are there in the river bed. The golden gravel, the gold means it's showing kind of contrast. The silver and the golden. The silver is on the surface and the golden is below that is under the waterbed. So that is what it speaks here. Let us see next. And draw them all along and flow. Draw them all along and flow. This line shows us that these things that are mentioned in the previous two stanzas, a flower, the fishes, the bubbles, the silver waves, all these keep on moving along with the river. They keep on going along with the river. It carries these things along with it, and flow to join the brimming river, for men may come and men may go, but I go on forever. So again it's repeating these lines that the men's life is not permanent, that is, humankinds are not permanent on this earth, while the brook is going to remain here for indefinite time. I steal by lawns and grassy plots, I slide by hazel covers, I move the sweet forget-me-nots that grow from happy lovers. It looks like now the river has come to such a place where it's very grassy. The area surrounding the river is all covered with different kinds of flowers and different kinds of plants. and from there it is moving from this place. And still means now the movement of the river has become little slow. It's quietly, slowly moving now from these places. Maybe means this word still here, which means moving slowly, could be that the river wants to enjoy these beautiful scenery on the either side of its bank, and that is why the pace is here little slow, and it is enjoying the flowers and the grassy plots that are on the either side. I move the sweet forget-me-nots that grow for happy lovers. Means here the poem is also mentioning the that part of human life when it is in deep love, and these places are meant for such happy lovers where they go and visit and enjoy these beautiful sceneries. So that's what it speaks here. I slip, I slide, I gloom, I glance among my skimming swallows. I make the netted sunbeam dance against my sandy shallows. Now see, different kind of movement it's talking about. Slip and slide, gloom and glance. That is, it's also showing little dark side of the river in this stanza. Means sometimes it becomes sad, sometimes it feels upset. In this part of the journey, when it is about to enter or merge with the main big river, that time it is becoming slower, its energy is decreasing, and also the brook is feeling little sad, little slow. Among my skimming swallows. Skimming means moving very quickly. Now, among my skimming swallows here, swallows. Swallows are the birds. The birds are moving very quickly, but the journey of the river has become little slow at this point of its journey. I glue my glance among my skimming swallows. I make the netted sunbeam dance against my sandy shallows. That is, the sunlight. The sunlight falls on the surface of water, and it looks as if the sunlight is dancing. That is, those rays which fall on the surface of water, the water keeps on moving, and it looks like that the sunlight is dancing against my sandy shallows. That is, the shallows means the deeper part of the river. Next, the second last stanza of the poem. I murmur under moon and stars, in brambly wildernesses. I linger by my shingly bars, I loiter round my cresses. I murmur under moon and stars. Now see, at night, this is the journey of the river when it reaches the night time. I murmur under means the sound becomes soft. Murmuring sound means very soft sound. Under moon and stars, that time it becomes very quiet and doesn't make much sound. In brambly wildernesses, brambly means here the thorny areas. Now it has entered to the wilderness. Wildernesses means those forested areas which are having wild plants and thorny plants and trees. I linger by my shingle bars. Shingle bars means the stony path, the areas which are full of pebbles and stones. It is now moving. Lingering means moving without any aim in the mind, walking about or moving about with no aim in mind. So here it's lingering means here very quietly it is moving with moving and crossing over those shingle bars means the path which is full of pebbles and stones. I loiter around my cresses. Now it is also moving around the water plants which are there on the either side of the river. So it is here showing that slower part of its journey when it's night and it makes less sound, and it's also crossing through the forest, a wilderness. Now let us see last stanza what it speaks about. And out again I curve and flow to join the brimming river, for men may come and men may go, but I go on forever. And out again I curve and flow. means now. Since we see at the last part, the pace has become less. The energy is also looking less in the river now, and finally it goes and joins the brimming river, the bigger overflowing river. And at the end, again, the brook mentions the difference between its life and the life of human being. We know that according to the poem, according to the brook, here the difference is that the men, the humankind, their life has a beginning and ending, but the river, the brook, has no end. It continues and will continue forever. So that is, we get to learn here, and that is the poem all about. So what we see, if we think about the whole poem, in the beginning, we see that the poem starts with lot of energy. So we can take it as a we can compare it with the life of human also. How, like seeing that energy and the way it started, we can compare it with the childhood days of human life. How in their childhood, how in their childhood the human are full of energy, and they are full of life. So same thing we see here in the first stanzas, that the poem begins. The brook, it looks dynamic, and it hurries and chatters and babbles and sparkles like an energetic child. So that comparison we can make here. And as we see that when the poem continues and then comes to the end, the brook gradually becomes slower, less in its pace. That shows the life of human being also, because when we become older, we become less in our energy, and there is a transformation from that spirited child to an elderly folk. So that is what we can compare here. Seeing the journey of the brook, that one comparison we can make, the comparison of the life of the brook with the life of a human, with the life of a man. So that is what we learn.